Good morning, good morning. How are we doing out there today? There is the bell. Stocks are moving a little bit. TSM powered higher with their nice earnings report. I gotta say, though, they are pulling back here over the past few minutes pretty harshly, especially on this opening candle. Nvidia pulling back down as well. Man, SPY not able to hold up either. Little pullback into open. We'll have to see if it can keep materializing for this nice bullish PA. AQMS is leading my watch list here. Up 17% on the day. I know that's a pretty popular one here amongst Tangy Man. What's up, Stock Angler, Joe Papa, Game, Blake, Jake, Varoom, Chai, Rick, Tangy, Iceman. Let's get it. Plug Power, moving here at open. Very nice action up to around $4, but I like the way it's getting those opening candles going. That's nice to see at least. ACHR had some good intraday action yesterday in both directions, actually. Today, it looks pretty interesting. Holding this 1330 support from this morning. I'm watching a pretty big trend here on the SPY. Past few trading days, the SPY has been trending higher, posting up higher lows. See 2 hits here recently, already on the way up. There's pretty critical resistance overhead too at 670. So we have a couple levels on the radar here today. As SPY starts to really break under the 665 support, that's where I'm going to look to become a bit more bearish, but I would ideally like to see that trend line break down too. We'll have to see if any China news pops up or not. Nestle jumps 8% today, too. Alibaba says AI spending in e-commerce business is already breaking even. They weren't moving as much as I thought on that news either. I like Baba's sell-off. Tesla's coming back here at open, though. Tesla comeback. Still holding above that trend from yesterday, actually. It got very choppy around this range if you are someone that looks at pre-market or after hours. You know, I haven't looked at GLD in a little while, J-Don. They said slowly grinding higher. Tangy Man said that, sorry. J-Don's looking at Nokia. Wow, I haven't looked at Nokia in a long time. It's been moving a little bit here. Zooming out on this stock, it's been pretty volatile the past few years. I don't know if you guys remember Icy Pro from the StockedUp community. He still posts every once in a while, but I think he was a big Nokia guy at one point. Whenever Nokia went up to $9, they posted like, I can't even remember how many millions of dollars it was in gains. It was insane. And then it crashed back down though, and they didn't sell. And it crashed really fast, but it was insane at the time. Oh yeah, Juan. GLD still grinding up. I like it. Yeah, nice and slow, but steady. Back to Tesla. Rejecting at that 436.50, 436 range. Unfortunately here, not breaking out. AQMS now up 23%. I guess on that opening candle, it just was volatile. But CRML, some of these rare earth companies are up a lot too. CRML's up 7%. From where it closed anyways. MU was impressive this morning. This one was highly impressive. Citigroup maintains buy, raises their price target to 240. That's pretty good. Not too much on economic news here. The problem is that the government's still shut down, so there's a big problem with data not coming out because of that. There might be some speeches or something, but nothing too crazy that we really saw. I'll show you guys what was supposed to be out today. We were supposed to get PPI data, but it's not happening. Neither is Friday's data. We're supposed to have inflation data next week. If we miss that one, it's going to be pretty rough. I don't know which part reports the inflation data, but I would assume with all the other data being delayed that would be delayed. Don't want to say for sure, though, because these things are a bit up in the air. I can't tell you, Yvonne. I thought it was really strange how they posted that great move and then right back down. They raised their outlook. They beat expectations. Gotta love it. I'm not seeing any news that would indicate something this bad of a drop. Yeah. Very strange. Gotta love the earnings moves. What's up, Chase? Nvidia's weak. I know, kind of following along with TSM, but it did come back. Did come back now, past couple minutes. Too bad they're not moving like MU, although MU's now pulling back too. Tried to get an opening run going, but pulling back like the rest now. How's AMD? Okay, not too crazy. Very choppy at open. Actually down in the red. Bloom Energy getting alive? Okay. BE. Starting to move a bit today. How about Navitas? We're going to have another 20% day on Navitas. Monza QQQ looks like a flag. It's not, yeah. It's not bad. Don't know the time frame, but man. Pretty rough to see SPY not getting up towards 670 right now. That's a bit negative. See it turning over pretty hard this morning. 667 breaking down. Demir is going to trade Nvidia on the open, but glad he didn't. Wow, especially with the chop that it's having here. AQMS just hit 30%. I guess it was technically higher than 30 a second ago, but Getting a little volatile on these candles. If we could start to break the pre-market high at 20, that would be beautiful. SMR starting to power? No. Nope. Just looking for things jumping around a little bit. You know, this is a weird one today. So why is Starbucks moving so well? S-Bucks coming up off the dip. I'm not saying that this is a true high or low yet, but if this ends up being a decent bottom here at support, this could be a good bounce back for Starbucks the next couple trading days. Hopefully back into resistance at least. It's really not far away from 85 resistance though, which is coming up first. Even yesterday morning it opened, and the day before, Starbucks has had a few great days in a row. At least it's consistent. Google breaking through pre-market highs at 254. A lot of good momentum up on Google. No kidding, Demure. How are they doing with that all-time high? They're testing it as we speak. You can see it on the hourly, pretty good up there. Around 256. It's only 50 cents away right now. One second. Let's just admire Google here for just a moment. We'll actually go to Mag 7 because that has Google on it too. Yeah, Google looks the most consistent today. Brain says, ready for another 20% day on Navitas. I actually said that already today. It was funny. I knew you weren't here yet, though, so I was waiting. Yeah. I was waiting for you. I was going to say it again. Microsoft trying not to tank, Juan said. Let's see. MSFT. Woke up to it at 10. Yeah. Lower high QQQ confirming downtrend. Let's see. The problem is right now is that it's testing this major resistance. I'm waiting to see if it posts a lower high off of this range up here where I'm pointing to. Closer to like 612 to 613. We could still like run up over the next couple trading days to like 609, 610, and then still post a lower high on more of a longer time frame or more of a zoomed out time frame. Looks like it actually just broke out above yesterday's high today, unfortunately. Not the best sign if you're looking for rejection there, but, you know, keep your eyes on overhead resistance. I am waiting for Possibly another statement with China or something similar, just to see what happens the next few trading days before these all-time highs come into play. I'm being very careful of the same thing with SPY at 670. I love that 669.50 to 670 resistance on SPY. I could see it rejecting there, posting a lower high, you know, from the all-time high up around 673, 674. I'm just being wary of that. Watching that SPY trend very closely here. It lines up really good. QQQ, if we zoom out a little bit. Yep, very similar trend as well. Gosh. Yeah, that move out of these chip stocks today has been pretty brutal, I gotta say. Let's look at the Mag 7 one more time. Nvidia chopping all around following TSM's earnings. Too bad they couldn't get any momentum. Is there any news with Google powering them higher here? Let's see. Oh, yeah. DoorDash and Waymo partner on autonomous delivery service. And Metro Phoenix offers $10 ride discounts for DoorDash members through 2025. Okay, interesting. Google and Salesforce expand their AI partnership. Google and CRM. Yeah, a lot of chop there. Let's go look at MU, one of my favorite semiconductors today, although from open, it hasn't really gotten any good action. Yeah, straight down again. Let's see Nvidia zoomed out a little bit. Very choppy. At least it's holding its range, but very choppy. Worried about a bigger pullback for sure. AMD down. A little bit actually red on the day. 1%. TSM down in the red now too, almost 1%. Pretty straight down there from open. Oh yeah, looks like it rejected it like that 306 resistance again. Rejected there a few times the past few trading days. Wow, pretty big rejection. Boeing. Nothing much today. All the banks. Always eyeing up banks in the short term. Bank of America had been popping back up today. It slowed down as it touched the all-time high yesterday. JP Morgan. Lot of chop. Wells Fargo. Not a lot of movement today, but they've been one of the better performers with their earnings recently, popping them higher. Yeah, out the new all-time highs, actually, yesterday. That's right. Ooh, SPY starting to fall down a bit more. A new low from open. One moment, guys. I need a drink of water. One sec. Alrighty, there we go. Sorry about that. How's Delta Airlines? DAL 62. Good resistance overhead. Delta. That's fun. How about them Blackhawks? I didn't watch it. Crap, I forgot. Man, I would have watched that too after the live stream. Or after the Q&A. Oh, wow. 8-3. What the heck? You hear Trump screaming China? No. Someone's talking about ABAT. Rough open for them. ABAT down 27%. Wow, that was a bad move in after hours last night. Yeah, they opened up really low. I got them at plus 100 up one, so I put 50. It's a really tight first period. They opened a can. I know what type of can they opened, too. QQQ rejection. A lot of chop still here at the top. Whole lot of chop. Oklo's down for the pork chop. You looking at Oklo to the downside today? Nice. It's a nice move there. MP Materials falling. Once again. Yeah, that's a rough move here. What's your view on SoFi? Pulling back here, there is some support where SoFi is sitting in the short term. This is actually a big area of support for SoFi. It's bounced here so many times. Look at on the left side of the screen how SoFi held here and has powered higher multiple times. You might want to watch this as an area of support where it could power higher, you know, but if it starts to break down, especially under where I'm circling here, you'd have to cut, but it seems pretty solid off this support. You know, if you're gonna respect it, at some point it will fall under it, you know, like it has in the past, but that'd be a pretty rough move. Strong positive correlation to SPY. Didn't realize SoFi had such a good correlation. Doesn't mean it moves with SPY, but at least it has over the past year pretty well. Let's see. You can just go to a chart. You can see the low 27.55, Yvonne. It's the low from yesterday. At 27.55. I got you. SoFi on support for sure, Varun said. Mason said, I want to play puts on Rigetti, but options chain is whack. How whack is it? Let's see. Oh. Yeah, pretty whack. Pretty whack, I'd say. Yeah, a lot of crazy bid-ask spreads here. At least there's like good volume, but it's not helping on those spreads at all. That's for sure. Oh. Yeah, there are a lot that don't have volume, but you see a couple strikes that seem pretty good. The right now, the 54 strike doesn't look terrible. And the 55. $50 is pretty good, of course, for puts. Chances of 3 rate cuts just went to 77%. Now that's fire to hear. Let's go pull up the Fed Watch tool. "13 days from the next FOMC meeting." Oh, I see, Mason. Yeah, I was looking at specifically this week. Yeah, FedWatch is pricing in 3 cuts here. 91% chance of a cut now at the December meeting, which is pretty crazy. That would put us at 3 cuts. Hopefully tariffs don't get inflation higher. They better figure something out here before this APAC meeting coming up. Juan said they just posted up an article. Let's see. Nice, yeah. I wonder who's calling that. Like Kalshi? Let me go check Kalshi. I do look at Kalshi quite a bit. Yeah, it was probably Kalshi that they were looking at the most. 77% on Kalshi right now. Wow, that really jumped recently. At the beginning of September, that really jumped. $13 million volume on this one too, quite a bit. He says, you don't know shit about Chop. Chop your credit card in half. Tesla's really rejecting at 436. Looking at Nvidia pulling back. Rigetti actually trying to bounce a little here. CRM up 7%. Salesforce had some great action from last night. ACHR with that 3.6% run. Demir got a dub and is out of here. Sounds good, Demir. A lot of spinning top dojis on the QQQ 1 minute. Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? A lot of crazy wicks anyways. Yeah, quite a few today. Let's see Moderna. 2% trying to get a move going here. Pfizer. Trying to find some good momentum. Palantir calls on the SM bot right now. Looking pretty decent, actually. It's been moving quite well. OWL puts, IREN puts. Shopify Inc. What's your view on IREN? You know, I know that one's been pretty wild recently. Looking at the daily chart of IREN, it's way too high in my book. I'm kind of waiting for a bigger pullback to come into play. I don't know how much more some of these growth stocks can be contained. Or sustained even. That's probably a better word. I don't know how a lot of these growth stocks can keep sustaining this overall run. The Navitas drop is brutal. Right back through, down into yesterday's range. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting 20% on Navitas this time, Brain. Yvonne has 200 shares of IREN at $47.89. Wow. That's a pretty decent price. Best case scenario for you, Yvonne, is that we get some type of pop back tomorrow, probably. You know, today we might try to bounce off support, but mainly for tomorrow, you know, if it doesn't pop tomorrow and we start to see a bigger drop and, you know, these growth stocks start turning over, you're going to have to be careful. Might not be a bad idea to set a trailing stop of some kind. Maybe of like, let's see. You'd probably want to do like a trailing stop of like 10%, something like that. Or you could just throw a stop down around like 55. 55 might not be terrible. It takes you down to 15%, but you'll still be winning $10 a share at that point. If you were going to try to hold for a larger run. Or you could just put your stop at break even down there at your $47 area. Obviously, then it would be you don't make anything, so that sucks. But it would allow you to hold longer. But I think if we start to turn over here and pull back more than 10 or 15%, it's going to be just about done anyways. Caleb says, FI a good buy right now. Pfizer. Watching it drop off. I know there was that recent big money trade from October 8th with Pfizer here. It's a pretty insane setup with Pfizer. As I look at this stock, you know, it's in free fall, right? It is in free fall. It has earnings coming up, though, at the end of October. It looks like October 29th. That's going to be a big deal here for Pfizer. If they do not have a positive report there, I don't want to keep holding it, personally. They're starting to break through some pretty large support, too. The next big support I see is down around 110, which is actually quite far away from where we are now. That's another 10-point move. Juan said QQQ's looking weaker and weaker. Very choppy. I mean, this is the definition of chop, right? Wow. SPY making a new low of the day. At least low since open, I should say. But yeah, starting to drop off a little bit. Let's see if it starts to materialize. Even the Mag 7 looks pretty choppy for the most part. Nvidia's like mimicking the SPY move. Give me one moment, guys. We're going to take a quick intermission. Need to go grab a water real fast. I drank all mine. Be right back. All right. Sorry about that. We are back. SPY just broke down through 666. The devil's number there, 666. Right to the downside. Although I learned in China that 666 was actually good luck or something. But totally opposite in the US. Totally opposite. The only joke right now is the SPY. Is the big money trader still in, Caleb said. Oh, on FI? I would assume so. Let me check. Yep, they're still in. Still in. Wow, SPY. Starting to sell down a lot more. Looking at the news here. Man, I'm looking at a whole lot of headlines hitting. Trump and Putin are to speak Thursday before Zelensky meeting. The U.S. Nuclear Weapons Agency is to begin furloughs, apparently. The energy chief is warning. Damn. Doesn't sound very hot. A Federal Reserve member just said that financial conditions are most important for the economy are those related to housing, not the market. Don't think it's that big of a headline, though. A lot of back and forth. Back to the Mag 7 setup. Tesla looks pretty decent, pushing towards 437, but pretty slow. MU coming up off the dip, which is nice. Right back to the $200 resistance now. Barrick Gold had been climbing higher today. GDX, a lot of the miners, are they moving? Let's see, GDX. Yeah, nice action, GDX. Again, the gold stocks, not bad today. GLD, still powering up. There we go. There we go. Everything else is boring today besides gold. Yeah, Steve, it seems pretty brutal right now, that's for sure. You never know. Maybe there'll be some random news that comes out and it gaps up 20% or something. I mean, I know that that's a far-fetched tale, but it's possible. That's always the big thing to watch for with those big money trades. But I think it's all right. Mason, has the NBA started for real yet? VIX is green. SQQQ's trying to go up. VIX green, 1.16. Not bad for VIX. Obviously, it could get a lot better if we start to get a real drop-off. But yeah, QQQ staying within the chop zone, right? Still chopping. Advanced money dispenser coming back alive. I like to see this. I just saw Jay posted up in the Discord. Looking pretty solid again. A lot better than many other stocks out there. MU just blasted through 200, pushing the high of the day. Wow, come on, 202. Let's see if we can break. It's up almost 5%. They had some upgrades this morning. You didn't know? Yeah. Pretty nice, I'd say. There we go. 202 breaking out. Beautiful there. Beautiful, MU. Keep it up. Keep it up. Go to GLD again. Slight slowdown, but looks good. Prax is a runner. Let's see. PRAX. Prax Precision Medicines. Wow. 242%. What the hell did they do? PRAX. Now that's, talk about a mover today. They post upbeat results. Enerpac Tool Group posts upbeat results. Joins Praxis Precision Metals. Oh, never mind. Hang on. Positive essential tremor trial results. Okay, their HCL study 1 for essential tremor met primary endpoint. All key secondary endpoints in study 1 were also statistically significant. Okay. Get some phase 3 results. Sounds good. Phase 3 trials of a drug went well. Wow. You know, this happens sometimes with these pharma companies or, you know, healthcare stocks sometimes. Drug manufacturers, whatever you want to call them. Let's just say pharma. But either way, that was a big breakout there. This stock had been brutalized in the past, too. It actually reverse split back in 2023. Oof. That's what you gotta say there. Oof. Short squeeze. There could be some squeeze happening here, considering what was going on. Let me go see what their short float is really quick. %, so not the highest out there, but definitely fairly high. I just don't think it had the popularity enough to have as much shorts on it. QQQ and SPY still chopping around, being a bit boring. Nvidia breaking through its pre-market high, though. There we go. Yeah, chip stock starting to come back around. We had that move with MU. AMD was running. I like Nvidia, how it's starting to try to break out. There we go. 183 coming up. Oh, yeah. It's a great move. Still powering, too. Like it. At least we got out of the chop zone here. I wish it would help SPY get out of the chop zone. I guess it's attempting. Microsoft's powering higher, too. So, two very influential stocks on the S&P 500. Well, the two most influential, pushing it up. Let's see if VIX is actively moving up. Now, VIX is actually actively moving down. And it is red on the day. It was up for a little while, though, as the SPY was attempting a fall. Yeah. It was up during this downtrend, but it is starting to fall now with SPY coming back up. QQQ back to pre-market resistance. Yeah, Brain said medical and pharma stocks are hectic AF. Yes, they are. Very hectic. Man, MU's still doing great, too. 5.7%. Look at that daily breakout with MU. If we go to, like, an hourly chart, just look at MU's trend that it started breaking today. That was a big one. I was a bit angry that a lot of it came in pre-market, though. Kind of sad, but... at least it's back through 200, starting to move a bit more now. I think that's a good sign. I don't really think that it impacted it too much, Brain. I don't think that it impacted it much. You know, the SPY is pretty much still where it was. Strange. Hang on one moment here. Crazy, yeah. The TradingView data shows it a lot different, but I think it's just delayed, G-Dog. I think that's it for you. I just had to figure that out myself. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, Notice how this one is updating and we're at like 1025. If I go to the VIX CBOE volatility index, it's still posting that we're at 1011. And if we go back to our normal one, it started dropping around 1014, 1015, 1016. So, yeah, that has to be what's going on. Okay, why did the mortician clock out for work early? He was dying to leave. I like that. That's a good one, too. He said, I made my dubs for the day, so we're moving to humor now. Jokes by Chase. Brain was chanting USA, USA, USA while listening to Trump's speech yesterday. And he said he doesn't even like Trump. What? That's weird. That's funny. And you just started pulling back a bit. After that breakout now, pulling back. Not what I want to see. Well, you know, Juan, I'm on TradingView. So TradingView is showing me the data for VIX because they give you the data. If your broker does not give you the data, you might have to pay for it to get not delayed anymore. It looked like you were using Webull, right? I believe that's what it was. I'm not sure how to pull it up on there. Non-delayed. Why did the... Let's see. Why don't ghosts like rain on Halloween? Because it dampens their spirits. That's not a bad one. I could go with that one. Why did the car apply for a job? Because it wanted to drive its career forward. What the hell? I don't know if I like that one. Why did Tom sit on his watch? Because he wanted to be on time. Wow, that's a flurry. You had the first one had me all excited, then the last two I'm like, oh. Juan said he wasted his time. What? Yeah, so it is Webull. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, okay. It does give you extra tickers. Let's see. Something that you could look at is probably VIX Futures. You might be able to type in, like, VX. CBOE Volatility Index Futures. But these are delayed, too, damn it. Yeah, you're probably just going to have to pay, unfortunately, or you're going to have to get TradingView for charting. They're probably going to make you pay for the data, unfortunately. TradingView has a special data set. If you type in VIX on TradingView, see how it says TVC and it has TradingView there? That's TradingView's data. So you can see how CBOE, the actual volatility index itself, doesn't really show up. I do want to test to see, though, if that CBOE one's... Yeah, it is starting to fall now. Yep. That shows me that we're correct on that thinking. Yeah, it is. I know. That's part of the reason why TradingView is pretty cool. You can get so many different data points on the charting. It's fantastic. And even the free TradingView. I mean, for the most part, everything's free. Now I pay for mine, but when the Black Friday deals come, I'll probably upgrade to the best one. USAR is finding some good support. QQQ just touched resistance, but yeah, USAR right around 30. Little triple bottom action here. USAR, guys, maybe finding a bit of a base intraday today. Look at how USAR did this yesterday. Yesterday, it formed a similar base, ended up popping up pretty well. Little recovery up to like 32, 31.50, something like that could be good from here. Hopefully more than that, but I think that would be realistic. Dang it, ChatGPT, give her some Gretas. So if you guys had to classify ChatGPT as, well, I wonder like what it would classify itself as if you asked it if it had to choose between, you know, never mind. I'm not even, that sounds so stupid. I was gonna say, what gender do you think that ChatGPT would call itself if it had to pick? But I realize that's probably a dumb, very stupid debate for the channel here. Go look at ASTS, 6.5%. Nice intraday movement. I know, you could ask it. That's the... It's a good push higher here, ASTS. Chase said ChatGPT's definitely a dude because it gets things wrong most of the time. That's funny. That's a tough one, Tangy, man. I don't know how to answer that. Let's go see CoreWeave coming back alive intraday. Noticed it popping higher here in the background. Pretty good movement there. Eyeing up the SM bot here. NVIDIA calls going crazy. Man, NVIDIA's all over the SM bot right now. I gotta say, it looks pretty damn bullish, too. I like the way it's pushing 183. I could see it potentially pushing through here. It was ironic because a family of 4 is there now. What is going on in the chat here? SMCI trying to come alive, 2.55%. Coming back. How's GLD? You know, we still powering higher, okay. Not bad by GLD, keeping it going. How about GDX? Holy, wow, guys, GDX. That has to be one of these straight up moves that I've seen today where it wasn't like just 1 or 2 candles that exploded either. It was like very slow 1-minute candles, but straight up. Sheesh. A good move by GDX. I do gotta say, it's becoming a bit overextended intraday for me. I don't know if I'd touch it at this point, but my gosh, it was nice. SMR started bouncing a little bit. How about you? Only up 1.4%, but still pretty decent on the day. Right at resistance, 25.40. It's actually pretty solid resistance. Joe Papa said, if I buy GDX, it's going to stop. In that case, buy it, and then I'll buy some puts. It's getting to the point, though, honestly, where I think it's going to turn over anyways. So I'd be pretty careful. ASTS is breaking 100. AST Space Mobile. That's actually a good jump there. 102.70 trying to break out. Let's go see MP Materials. 86.50. Nice support. Hey, Tom, you probably said this, but why is VIX and SPY up? Oh, no. VIX isn't really up. It's actually down on the day. And it's been falling down the past 30 minutes or so. SPY has been rising the past 30 minutes or so. So I would say things are going pretty spot on to how they should. Now, we found out earlier that you might have delayed data. Make sure that you're looking at VIX at this exact minute. 10:39 Eastern. Make sure you're not 15 minutes delayed. Chase La Riviere says, got GLD at 310. And then Chase G says, Chase L, can you change your name? There ain't enough room in this town for the both of us. That is funny with all the names. I wonder how many other Chases there are out here. I've seen a lot of Chases over the years. I smell a duel. Zach said, now that's teamwork. GLD pulling back, sadly. NVIDIA, there we go. NVIDIA still trying to power higher here. Pretty good price action overall. Chase has hockey practice. Hate that it's right during prime market movement. Whoa. I thought your last name sounded like a hockey player. That's hilarious. Hey, that's awesome, though. Have fun. I love myself some good old-fashioned hockey. I really used to be into that NHL video game, like, very into it. Any update on Virginia Avenue? No. No Virginia Avenue, sadly. I couldn't do it for dinner last night. I've been eating it too much recently. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm gonna lose my spot. I actually grilled some burgers last night, though. They're pretty fire. The community has to bless you up. That would be pretty sick if I won that one. There's also, I need one more. I'm about to win on like 5 of them, Mr. Charles. You could give me 5 different pieces and I would win like a big one. Wish I could show you guys what it looks like on there. Yeah, I need Virginia. I need Tennessee Avenue. I need Kentucky Avenue. I need Pennsylvania Avenue. I need Short Line. And then Waterworks. Yeah, I could win on like every single one, honestly, that I just named. That just each one of those would make me win the whole set. My fiance needs Vermont. If she gets Vermont, she'll win a Polaris. Or Polaris, or however you say it. NVTS could be looking at another 20% day. It's not... It is coming back alive. I'm not saying 20%, but it is really coming back. That's for sure. That is quite the recovery there. Wow. If it does have another 20% day, we're going to have to... I'm going to at you in the Discord. So be ready. Is the recovery a bull trap? I'm not saying it's a bull trap, but if you just blindly hold it all day long, you'll probably end up getting in trouble with it. But if if you day trade it up and you try to day trade it up to like 669.50, 670, somewhere like that, I could see it touching resistance, but then falling back down. Today's my 11-year anniversary with my fiance. I guess, you know, that's how long we've been together today. Hey, appreciate that. I appreciate that. One second here, guys. Just give me one sec. Sorry about that, guys. Helping somebody out in the background here. One moment. Hang on one moment here. Winds are bad. Still haven't made it back to Florida. Stuck over Lake Michigan for a few days. The wind's pretty bad. That sounds kind of crazy. I still can't believe you got your rangefinder taken. That's pretty crazy. Starting to turn down already. Now that's not good. That's not what we want to hear. I think SPY and SMCI will slow down. Sorry about that, guys. Had to take care of something really quickly. QQQ. 608.30, pretty nice. I like this 606.50 support. I like Tessie's action. SMCI looks pretty good, though. Yeah, I like the way it's setting up here for a possible test and breakout of 55.60, 55.70. What's a zombie's favorite meal? A manwich. That's pretty funny. A manwich of all things. PLTR. Like the way it's setting up here. Kind of like a little wedge play, like it's flagging a little bit. Not the best setup on that on the upper end there, but on this lower side, it's trending pretty good. Zooming out on Palantir, trying to break through resistance. I don't love it. Brain sold Navitas. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a 20%er on this one today. If it ends up being 20%, though, that would be wild. That would be wild, actually. Very wild. Check out ARM. ARM. Pretty insane action. 175.50. Okay. Not bad. Starting to turn over a little bit, though. Not the best intraday action that I'm seeing here. Don't love the way it's moving. Let's see how it looks when you zoom out a little bit. Let's put it on a 5-minute. It's a lot of weird action there. Okay, I got in more because I have to keep my arsenal for tomorrow. But he says, what does Frankenstein drive? Let's see. A monster truck? Wow, okay. I thought you were going to say a hearse. Look at Rigetti selling down, guys. Down 12% now. Man, Mason, that one was a wild one from earlier today. Let's go back to ARM. Looking to short it. It's probably going to chop around right here a lot, but I like the short possibility. I don't really see it breaking 175.50 here right now. It's not a bad one, though, Chase. A monster truck. What car does Frankenstein drive? We're going to have so many by the time Halloween rolls around. Yeah, man, that was a wild move, wasn't it? I just thought the same thing. Wow, down to under 50 at this point. I can't believe it didn't even try to bounce at 50. It's leading my watch list down now. TMQ Trilogy Metals had been an interesting one for me recently. MU's right at 205. I'm glad to see it 5 points over 200. That's a pretty decent pop for MU. That is a good pop by them. Someone told me it's a good strategy to do that sometimes, Brain said. They said, I still believe, but I wanted to take some profits. That's the good strategy, taking profits sometimes. It's a good idea, Brain. MU looks like it wants to break 205. It's been stuck and it's bounced here like... honestly, like 5 times throughout this run-up. should have taken it. APLD almost 3%. Pulled back a little bit off of 40. Looks kind of rough intraday. A lot of stocks just sitting around here. Starbucks back alive. I know this one had that great opening move. Up 2% on the day. Weak correlation to SPY over the past year as well with Starbucks. Watch to see if any of these rare earth companies start moving, but MP Materials seemed like it was trying to form a base. Testing support as we speak. SMCI, boom. There we go, SMCI, yeah. It was a good resistance, but the way in which it was holding right here was pretty bullish. I like that setup. Looking great there. Hopefully it gets a big run going through here, or bigger, right? The more the merrier. In that case. Beyond Meat's down like 13% again. Do you guys remember how Beyond Meat has been falling recently? Look at this chart. Since the end of September, they went from $3 down to 60 cents. Look at the daily. Wow. The fake meat has not worked. I think people are realizing that it can be healthy to eat normal food. As long as you don't, you know, put tons of crap on it. Yvonne goes, why would anyone invest in that anyways? I'll tell you what, Yvonne, whenever Beyond Meat came on the market, it had a ton of hype. I mean, look at this. People were going nuts over Beyond Meat whenever it hit the market. 419% move. Of course, it was during the COVID run-up. They started to recover back, do very well during that time again. I knew a lot of people that really believed in Beyond Meat and got screwed over pretty bad. I hope they're not still holding. If they are, there's going to be some problems, but... Crane said it could recover. Well, yeah, I mean, anything can happen, right? Could you imagine if it did recover from 60 cents to 280? Woo! I think the only chance that we have to see this thing at 280 again is if it does a 280 for 1 reverse split. That'd be the only way. Yeah, I knew what you mean, Brain. I know you probably didn't mean all the way. Yeah, government funding, that could be something. It could happen, yeah. You just can't fathom the options chain. I know, it's a weird one, isn't it? Let me go look out at the other dates really quick. Oh yeah, it gets worse. Definitely gets worse. Ew. Yeah, it's almost like you've got to play the weekly on that one or else it's done. Same week EXP or whatever. Well, and even at that, it's not the best, but at least it's better. Then you're getting risky, though. Crazy shit. All right, Rigetti coming down. It's about to touch support. I have it 48.25. Why do I have that there? Oh, wow. It is a pretty decent support that this one's on here. Note where that is. Watch it recover up from here. It did get pretty low on the day, though. I wouldn't be surprised. Came back a little bit. Just keep that in mind, guys. But alrighty, guys, we're probably going to call the stream there. Had a lot of decent price action today, but a lot of it not my favorite, if I'm being honest. I liked MU's recovery. I thought SMCI had a good move. Tesla was okay as it tried to run up here to 440, but man, the rest is just kind of flat and boring here today. Of course, there were some opportunities to the downside. Gold was nice again. You know, GDX. Can't complain there. GLD. Love the longer term positions on gold. Still moving up well. And silver, of course. You know, silver. Pretty decent too. But, man, let's just go to that gold daily. This is getting like... This is actually starting to worry me or get... so parabolic that it's getting crazy, to say the least. Wow. Alrighty, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go, Mr. Charles Brain. Jessica Mason Chase. Both Chases. Mr. Charles. Javier. Mark. Mochi. Juan, of course. Demure, who's not here anymore. KO, Jake. Anton, doesn't show me everybody. Iceman, Varoom, Chai. Ivan, of course. Said my stocks are not doing well. They might pull back a little bit. You know, sometimes you might have to adjust. Just keep that in mind. I like how on a lot of those, though, you're up. What was the one? AV? Ah, yeah, that one is pulling back again today. We might see a shift. All right, let's go. Have a great one. See you, Dusty. Tangy Man says, I'm nobody. Love you, Tangy. See you later, guys.